Hey, happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a great Valentine yesterday. Hey, Grandma Lynn. Hey, Six Bows. How y'all making it? Ooh, it's been raining here all day, y'all. It's been raining here all day. Ooh. How's everybody day been? Hey, Frank. How y'all doing? You doing good? Yeah, I'm doing okay too. Just trying to maintain. Yes, yes. I'm gonna talk about a movie that was came out on Friday, Tyler Perry movie. Woo! I tell you, it was a little ratchet, but it was pretty good. It's all the way how you took it. I don't know if a lot of y'all know Frank has seen it. I don't know if anybody else seen a movie called Joe College Trip. But I want to talk about some more things before I get to that. This up a new week. This is a new week coming up. We got 3 shorts a day. Challenges start tomorrow. We started by doing the challenges, so tomorrow will be 3 shorts a day. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be shorts on whatever you want it to be. Movies, your breakfast, dinner, you walking, whatever your choice. Just 3 shorts a day. This to help you build your channel up, help you get your views and things like that. Our challenges this year start with the hashtag challenge 2026. We've been doing these challenges for the last 3, 4, 5 years at the most. Where you want to come out? Okay, get that troll out right now. Get a troll right now. Ivan, you trolling. You trolling right now. Before you get out the chat, make sure you hit my thumbs up, please. It was a good movie, too much cursing. Yes, it was. It was ratchet, but he warned people. He did warn the people, but get Ivan Repatrol out my chat. They ain't making no sense really. But I want to get into my own personal journey. This week I'll be doing some things concerning cardiovascular health. I'll be doing things for my heart health this week. I just got to stay focused, and I'm going to be doing some sitting cardio sessions. I'll be doing some recording. My doctor gave me a plan to go by. This is for my heart health. About 2 weeks ago, I had an ultrasound done on my heart, and my tests came back. My left side of my heart is a little enlarged. But my doctor was telling me, don't start stressing. It's something that is showing that I have a little enlarged heart on my left side, but it's something that we can work with. You know what I'm saying? So he did a plan, a cardiovascular plan for me to go by. And if the Lord's willing, this is what I'll be doing the rest of the year, trying to do some cardio exercises. I'll be changing my eating habit, which I already had started. And I also be have to take 3 or 4 different types of vitamins a day. So this is part of my personal journey. I will share some on my channel. That's for my motivation and to help others that are going through some of the things that I'm going through. But I just want to share that with y'all, because y'all see me trying to do some exercise. Y'all know what it's about. It's for my heart health. I already deal with joint health, so all of that gonna go in together for me to, continue to stay focused. And of course, mentally, I'm still, my mom been gone almost 2 months now, and like I said, I think about her daily, but I know she would want me to focus on my health, and that's what I'll be doing. So y'all will be seeing me doing some cardio fitness, and I'll be mostly sitting in my chair. Then I get up and do some with my knees. You know, I have my left side is my weakest side, so I'll be doing things in moderation. I also be doing some walking, you know, all depending on the weather. My doctor just told me to do things in moderation. I ain't trying to act like I'm a be in a marathon. My main focus is my health. So thank you, Grandma Lynn. How you been doing? I see you been over there cooking up, son. I've been seeing those shorts and those meals you've been doing. They've been looking pretty good over there. Um, but yeah, our health is our wealth. That is my main goal for 2026, which is my main goal every day, all the time. It ain't just like it's just beginning. I always have try to put my health first. So that's what I just want to put it out first before I get into this movie review that we gonna be starting the challenge tomorrow. 3 shorts a day. Anybody can be part of the challenge. Just put out 3 shorts and hashtag challenge 2026. You can either tag me or Miss Key, or you can tag both of us in the description, because we are the one that keep up. We are the one. Okay, I forgot this the weekend, and trolls just don't have nothing else to do. I wish I would get some food stamp. Ooh, child. I wish I would get some food stamp. I wouldn't be ashamed to spend them. I know that. I'm trying to get that troll out right now, y'all. I'm not with it today. You know, you're welcome to come in my chat, but if you come in here talking silly, I will remove you. I wish I would get some food stamp. See, can you get some for me? Man, you think I'd be ashamed to spend them? I sure won't. Do you get any? Better than John for your buddy Trump cut them out. Because when your buddy Trump get to work, he going to take all on from you. But like I was saying, I just want to put that out, and I want to shout out my members. I want my members to know that I do appreciate them. Shout out to all of my supporters. Thank you for continuing your support to me. He talking about another food stamp front runner. Shoot. I wish I would get some food stamp. I spent them. Front runners. Ain't no shame in my game. The way how food is now, shoot, you be lucky you be able to buy some groceries. I guess people don't know. Let me get this troll out. I ain't got time today. But like I said, you're welcome to come in the chat as long as you're being respectful. I ain't got time. Try to give people chances to be in your chat, but when they come in and try to say things, try to insult the host and just not making any sense, I have the opportunity to take you out my chat. So I'm fixing to get into my preview of this movie. Even, I'm just going to start from the beginning of it. And, like I said, Tyler Perry, hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay. How you doing? Tyler Perry written and produced this movie. And, I'm going to say this like I have already said when I talk about celebrities and talk about things they do. I don't know what these people do in their bedroom. It's not my problem. It's not for me to solve it. But as a human being, that's beyond them. I watch Tyler Perry movies. I still listen to R. Kelly music. They have things going on in their personal life, but that's their lives. I don't have no part of it. I'm just a vlogger. I like to watch movies, so I started putting movies in my lineup to some of the things that I'm doing. Yeah, it wasn't. Everybody's familiar with Tyler Perry. Y'all know how he rolled. Hey, Kenneth. Hey, E-Gods. Welcome in. Y'all don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Welcome in, everybody. How many people have seen the new Tyler Perry movie? I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but this is just my my take on it, my review on it, and like I said, it wasn't for kids. It was definitely. I don't want my grandkids watching it. I know that. And I wouldn't want Joe taking my kids nowhere. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. But deep down, once you get to watching the movie, you're gonna laugh. And but that was a message there. They was trying to teach his grandson something. And it's good to know your history, everybody. It's good to know your history. A lot of people don't know their history. A lot of people don't know Black history. You know, this is Black History Month and Tyler Perry. Even though, can y'all hear me? I got this on the screen right here. This is what I'll be reviewing. I don't know if a lot of people have watched the movie. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but this is my take on the movie. The name of the movie is Joe College Road Trip. And this movie was written and produced by Tyler Perry. Y'all should be familiar with Tyler Perry. It was funny. It had a message, but it wasn't for kids again. Yes. Y'all make sure y'all connect with one another in the chat. Hey, Mona. Good to see you, my girl. Good to see you. I'm here just behind the cover right here. I just want to put my take in on the Tyler Perry movie. Good to see you. How you been doing? I've been seeing your comments, girl. I've been seeing your comments. I already shared about some personal journey. I got to continue to stay on my personal journey. I had an ultrasound done on my heart, and my left side of my heart is a little enlarged, but my doctor is telling me don't be alarmed, but he want me to start working on making sure my heart pumps and flows good every day. All of that will lead up to heart failure. So he gave me a cardiovascular plan. I got to go by. I got to do some cardio exercises. I got to take some vitamins, and I got to change my eating habits. So I'll be documenting and sharing some of the things that I'll be doing. Starting tomorrow, y'all see me doing some cardio chair exercises. I'm not a professional, but I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm not trying to be like others. My main focus is my health. So y'all might see me doing a little something. Y'all be like, ooh, look at her. But my main focus is my health. But right here on the stream, I don't want to spoil it for no one if you haven't seen it. But this is my take on this movie. Yes, it was funny. It was a little bit ratchet. The language, and he had a disclaimer in the beginning of the movie. He had a disclaimer in the beginning of the movie, and he let people know up front. Warning. He was letting people know it was going to be cursing. It was going to be, you could see the how the movie was already rated. It was showing nudity. It was going to show nude. It was going to be some languages. It was going, it's kind of like for adult. Like I would say anybody under 18 don't need to watch this movie. I'm just being honest. Anybody under 18 do not need to watch this. I mean, I laughed. Oof. I laughed, y'all. I'm telling you, I laughed. And then if you watch it, you wouldn't think that this was going in a way concerning our Black history. And a lot of people don't know all of that history. A lot of people don't know that history. And it's good to sometimes we watch these documentaries and, they share a lot of things about people about the history of others. But I didn't think this movie was gonna go in the route it did, because the way it came on, it was a message he was trying to send to his son. I'm just gonna say, as a Black man in the United States now, you need to know, Black, as a man, woman, whoever, you need to know your history. And our Black guys, our teenage boys, our young Black men have been targeted for a long time. Judge girl, you looking for girl, child. I gained some of that weight back now. I got to get it off. I got to get my heart, make sure my heart stay healthy. That's my goal right now, is making sure my heart stay healthy. Still fighting that inflammation. So all that going to go in together with what I'm going to be doing the rest of the year. And y'all know I lost my mom a week before Christmas. Mentally, it just took a toll on me. But I'm getting stronger every day. I'm just, getting there. Tyler was wrong with putting his son. But I'm gonna get into this movie. Like my phone had run. How many of y'all got some Uncle Joes like that? We all got an Uncle Joe in our family. Might not be as ratchet as this Joe. No, that ain't Urkel. That's the little boy what played in the movie. I gotta get his name. But how many of y'all got a Joe in the family? One of them uncles where he know everything. If you had an uncle in your family like that, put a thumb in the chat. You got an uncle with know everything. You can't tell them nothing. They gotta be right. And then you got one of those uncles that like that cool uncle. You have a cool uncle. You got that uncle that think they know everything. You got that uncle that want to be like a sugar, that just want to be like a pimp. Cool papa. How many of y'all got uncles like that, or then had an uncle called Joe? Joe was a pimp. He was somebody you couldn't tell him nothing, but he know his history now. I had to say that. Okay, I know you gonna stick with me, girl. He should have took his own side. See, that's what I'm saying. That's some of the message that was some of the things that he regret that he couldn't do some of the things with his son. So he had the opportunity to teach his grandson. But how many of y'all got an uncle like that? Tell the truth. Y'all got an uncle that think they're a pimp. You got an uncle that try to act like they know everything. And you got one that you just can't love to dance and cut up. I have had uncles like that. Some of them be the life of the party. Then I have uncles where you can't tell them nothing. You got uncle like that. You got those uncles where they like to wear those suits, man. I mean, in those Stacey Adams shoes, and they'll pull out their little cigarettes or cigars, and they might have one of those little things where they got the little look in. Joe, I believe Joe just drunk him a 6-pack. Joe would get drunk, y'all. But I'm finna get into it. Like I said, it's a comedy. It is a comedy. It came out. This is about Tyler Perry, Joe's College Road Trip. This is a 2026 comedy film on Netflix starring Tyler Perry and his character Joe Simmons. My dear brother who take his sheltered grandson BJ on a cross-country road trip to teach him about the real world. Lord, I hate to say it, y'all. That boy, Lord have mercy. The child seemed like he didn't know nothing, y'all. I said, Lord, I know this television. But it's good to try to teach your children. Don't let them get out there acting like they don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? This little boy, he was going to college. He was about 18, but he didn't know nothing. I don't have nothing against Elvis Presley. I love Elvis Presley, but he wanted to go see Elvis Presley place. He wanted to go to Elvis Presley's George girl didn't know that. He wanted to go visit the Graceland. But like I said, this movie came out on the 13th. It's one of Tyler Perry's comedy, right? And it was based on trying to teach Tyler Perry wanted his son to know about life. That wasn't an act. Stop, right? And see, one thing too, and I tell my grandson this, you can't listen to these other children at your school. Sometimes children will try to get you to agree and go somewhere with them. And see, even though Joe was ratchet, but Joe took that boy across that country. You hear what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying he would have made it with those boys, but it wouldn't have been nothing historical. They would have been just joyriding and doing all that stuff. And I be telling my grandson, because he's 14, and he real active with sports, and y'all have seen me share different things. But I always tell him, do not be a follower. Don't be a follower. Don't go somewhere just because your friend said, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. No, don't follow no one. You need to check your environment, your situations. You got to make sure you know who you're around, and make sure you tell your parents what's going on. He was going to follow those guys to see Graceland because he didn't know no better. He was just wanting to have, he was a young boy. And y'all know, like Frank said, this generation here, you really can't tell them nothing, but it's good to try to let your children know about their Black history. Kids on a road trip will show you how quick our family tree going to end. I'm telling you, we all been young. We all been young. And if one friend get a car, you gonna want to ride with that friend too. You know that you got that friend that probably was the first one in the neighborhood, got a car, and they want to show everybody, and you gonna be right there with them, knowing that he probably ain't got no license, but you want to ride around town with a car just because you want to be hanging with the kids. So this movie here is based on trying to teach his son about life, because Tyler Perry saw. Yeah, it's funny, Eric. I don't want to tell you everything, but it's funny. It's a lot of cursing, y'all. Woo. Now, before the movie came out, Tyler Perry put out a disclaimer saying, Joe said the word I don't know how many times he was saying the B word and the P word. Y'all just imagine what I'm saying. The P word is what a woman got, right? He said that so much. He said the MF word, and then, whew, I know one thing. I wouldn't want my grandkids to hear it. And Booster better not be no one trying to watch it. My little granddaughter, I'm going to tell my daughter, she better not let that girl watch that. These children already know too much now. But he let people know up front what to be expected. But yeah, it was a movie based on his son was getting ready to go to college, and he wanted to go across the country with two of his friends. But Tyler Perry knew that wasn't going to be a good thing for him. And I have to give it to Tyler Perry, because he got this movie set up just in time for Black History. You know, I saw a lot of the people saying it would have been much better, it hadn't been that much cussing, and you know, if it hadn't been that much cussing, if he had just went straight to But that's Tyler Perry. His movies be funny. Cause if you used to watch the old Madea movies, she would curse in now. She would in the plays, she would curse, she would do some funny stuff. And but this is the plot right here. Joe take his college-bound grandson on a chartered road trip to expose him to life outside his sheltered upbringing, leading to high tension and life lessons. Like I said, it was some lesson in him for him to learn. And in this movie started Tyler Perry as Joe. Tyler Perry is playing Joe. Jermaine Harris is the little boy playing BJ. Emma Rang is Miss Pat. And you know, they also had Millie Jackson in here. Frank, did you see Millie Jackson? Millie Jackson is a singer. She's I would say, what a soul singer. The movie was directed and it was written by Tyler Perry. And it released on February 13th, 2026. Okay, this is what they said. He sent out a trailer before the movie saying that the movie indicates strong language and adult humor true to Perry's style. This is what this is him. This is his character. And he was just letting people know. A lot of people gonna say they don't like the movie. A lot of them ain't gonna like the movie. But this is what, this is Tyler Perry. This is what he do. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna get mad. But some of the things that, Frank, I know you watched the movie. Tell me some of the things that you did like about the movie, and what do you think his message was to the grandson? I'm gonna tell you what I think his message was. Now from what I see, Joe is Brian Tyler Perry dad, and Joe did not bring his son up right. You can tell the way how sheltered he is, because Joe was a pimp. Joe was out at night. Joe was with them. Joe with them different women. That's what I see Joe as, a pimp. He was like what would they say? Those men that like to have a good time. That's what Joe is. One of them like to have a good time. Give him a couple of women and maybe give him a 40 ounce and maybe smoke a little, what, and maybe get he was just one of them men, just like, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the life you choose. I'm not saying nothing against partying, smoking, whatever. You do what makes you happy. But it seemed like Joe didn't really have time for his son. That's how I look at it. Like, yeah, he was a player. He was a player. And he one of them old school. He was old school. God, he had an 8-track. Look, y'all. Joe had an 8-track tape in his car. His car didn't even have no seat belts. It was kind of like a convertible. I was wondering, did the car have a top on it? Did they ever close the car? I'm trying to see, did it have a top on it? But anyway, Joe was would pull out a 40 ounce and see the little boy. The little boy, he was like, to me, real smart. He was eating right. He was a vegetarian. He didn't eat no meat. He had, like, anytime they would say something about different stuff, he'll like he saw that little thing in the road. I forgot what that was in the road, but Joe was trying to kill the thing. And he was like, let him go. Let him go. Don't kill him. He was more like caring for the animals. He didn't want to eat no chicken. Tell me what black person don't eat chicken. Anybody in the chat don't eat chicken? Do anybody in my chat do not eat chicken? I thought all black people eat chicken. But when you're a vegetarian, you don't eat meat. Joe was making that boy eat that chicken. Joe was making that boy eat chicken fried. That boy said he don't even want that because he said he was thinking about what they be. You know, a lot of people say they don't like chicken. I worked at a chicken plant for 11 years. You know, I used to see how they used to kill the chicken, skin the chicken. You saw it yesterday. I used to see how they killed the chicken, skin the chicken, pull. I used to see how my grandma used to raid. Hey, Miss Key. I'm trying to get a review on this movie, child. Did you see it, Miss Key? Woo. That Joe couldn't take my child nowhere. I'm just gonna be honest. I wouldn't want Joe to take my child nowhere. But I used to work in a chicken plant, right? And folks used to be saying, you still eat chicken after you done seen how them folks used to do them chicken. It didn't never bother me. I still eat chicken, but this little boy didn't like no meat. And then he had to have certain type of stuff because he have allergies. But honey, Joe done throw that boy bag away. I'm surprised he didn't have no allergy attack down there, y'all. It seemed like to me the little boy, he was just lost. Joe almost got that. Mickey, did you see the movie? It seemed like he was lost, y'all. The child seemed like he was lost, like he had never been outside. I hate to say it. The child acting like he never been outside, y'all. I'm like, I even know this television, but there are children like that. Some people isolate their kids where they, you know, you watch it today. How you thought? I know it was a lot. It was bad. The language was bad, but the message was loud and clear. The message was loud and clear. Hold on, I'm doing something right now. Hold on. Hold. You know, it was good. You know, it's good to protect our children. We got to protect our children. But it's good to let our children know about the world. Let them know about their history. Tell them about what happened to Martin Luther King. He was so lost, y'all. I mean, he was lost. What you say about them chicken, Mona? Let me see what you say about them chicken. But Tyler Perry wanted people. He wanted the people. He told them, look, this movie ain't for kids. It ain't for kids. Let me see what Mona said about the chicken. I grew up riding chicken. I remember my mom used to get those chicken and wring those chicken necks. And they used to put those live chickens, you know, like those roosters and chicken walking around. They used to get those chicken and got pulled. Ooh, the way they used to pull that skin and pull all them feathers off, you would be like, oh my God, what are they doing to them chicken? Mona's I eat chicken and chase that baby for dessert. I'm a military. So you're a military. I gotta be on a Mediterranean diet, Mona. Low carb. That's for heart health. I'm like, Lord Jesus, but I can do it. But it's a pretty good movie, y'all. It's pretty good, but the little child was lost, y'all. He was lost. He was on thing he was thinking about going to see Elvis. But they went to this, and you know, they went to this motel and see when him and that girl was in the hotel, he was nervous to kill. He was loud. But you know what? When they went to that motel, I didn't even think about it was the same motel that Martin Luther King, for how they seen it. Ooh, child. That Joe, I was asking the question, do y'all have a Joe in y'all family? Because Joe was a pimp. He loved himself some women now. He one of them kind of uncles that you can't tell nothing. You can't out talk him. He used to be one of them like he used to dress back in the day with them long coats, dressed like a pimp. I had a couple uncles that was the always trying to be the one to be the star of the show. Like we have a barbecue or something. We had that uncle that gonna show out every time. They gonna try to do all the dances and stuff like that. The Mediterranean diet. I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna go. I shared some. Did I share some about it yet? No, I haven't shared about it yet, but I'll share some about it like a few minutes. But it's basically everything from chicken to fish. You can eat stuff, but it gotta be low carbs, stuff like that. More green leafy vegetables, like some of the stuff I already been eating. But no pasta, no white rice, things like that. But that Joe, when he took that boy to that room, did y'all think that was even though I know it was television, because the room had the clothes hanging up, and the little boy was like, he said himself, yeah, had a lot going on. But when the little boy saw the clothes in the closet hanging up, and first thing in his mind, we in somebody else's room. But it found out at the end, like coming up to the end, that was the same room that Martin Luther King was sleeping in. Those were Martin Luther King clothes. That is the same hotel that Martin Luther King got killed in. And he got that room for a reason. He wanted his grandson to know his history about what happened at that motel. Yeah. But he didn't even know. He didn't even know about Martin Luther King had got killed at that same motel that they were staying at. And then he was showing him a lot of historic places. He didn't even know. He was taking pictures of them, but he didn't know the meaning of them. The child was lost. He was lost. And I said to myself, Tyler Perry wasn't teaching that boy nothing. I was like, Tyler Perry wasn't teaching his son nothing. But it's obvious Joe didn't do much for Tyler Perry. That's why he said that, he felt like he failed his son. So that's why he wanted to do whatever he could to help his grandson, because he felt like he had failed his son. But he didn't know the child was that mindless, child. And then, like I said, they went to that hotel. They also went to a river. They showed a river. And it had a historic spot to it. But I was laughing. I know my husband looking at me like, isn't that? Because he was about to sleep. And I was just laughing at him. But they also went to like house. I don't know why he took that boy down. Lord Jesus. I don't know why he took, but back then, a lot of men back in the days, they did have pimps. They had pimps. They was owning women. They could let the women go nowhere. They had the women sleep with all these men and stuff. And but Joey had to take that boy down. That was sad. He didn't teach his son nothing. He was he said he asked his dad where baby come from. Lord have mercy, Jesus. The man. Ooh, I needed to watch that. I needed a little laugh, y'all, because I tell you, I've been stressing. I've been thinking about my mom. I needed that. But look, Tyler Perry asking Dad where the baby come from. That man gonna take him. Jesus. He gonna take the boy. Somebody was in labor, right? It was a woman in labor. And he put the boy face. He put the boy right down up, and he can just see. When he said where baby come from. So he can look right in there and see where the baby come from. Lord have mercy, Jesus. That was a Tyler Perry. I'll be shaming himself. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't figure out why he wanted to take him to the H house, but them folk was in there getting busy. And then Joe didn't get one. Joe got about 4 or 5, did he, y'all? I'm like, Lord Jesus. Is Joe still trying to do some things? Y'all think Joe still got it going on? I tell you, some of these old men be swear they still be popping now. Is Joe one of them old sugar daddies? Lord, that Joe said, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. And the little boy, I'm like, he didn't know nothing. He was like, what kind of house this is? Oh my God. He was like, what kind of house this is? And then, Jesus. So he 18. I'm assuming he 18. That man hadn't told that boy nothing about no birds and the bees. Do y'all remember having to talk with y'all parents about the birds and the bees? What age, I'm ask the ones that parents in the chat, or the ones that, what age do you think you should start telling your kids about the birds and the bees? Do y'all remember when y'all parent first started telling y'all about, or did y'all parent tell y'all about the birds and the bees? And I ain't gonna talk about what the children are doing now, because they can Google everything now. Look like the boy had did the man throw the phone out the window? He could have Googled, he could have looked it up. 3rd grade. So you found out about look at that person right here. I said, what age y'all was when y'all learned that about the birds and the bees? Now, who did come because about 3rd grade? Lord Jesus. That child was lost. But Tyler Perry, Joe didn't. I'm so tickled. Joe just finished it. He didn't even finish school. He stopped in the 3rd grade, y'all. Joe stopped in the 3rd grade. But Joe wasn't too much of book sense, but he had that street sense now. He knowed about that. But yeah, he was kind of good with the little history a little bit. But Joe stopped in the 3rd grade. My parents talked to me about the birds and the bees, and found out on my own. Child, if you want to go to these kids now and say, I want to have to talk to you about the birds and the bees, them children gonna look at you and like, what they did are. They'll be, look, nowadays, this generation can tell you about the birds and the bees. You can't go to a child now. And it's good to talk to your children about this stuff. Because if you don't talk to them, you don't want them to find out from other children. That's why when you say you need to have that talk, you got to be able to have that talk with your children. But now, they got that Google, they got TikTok, they got Instagram, Facebook, they got it all now. They can find out everything they need to know. But that little boy, he ain't know nothing. He look, because the man asked him, do he have a girlfriend? He asked the grandson, did he have a girlfriend? He didn't want to talk about that. But Joe thought the little boy, didn't like girls or whatever. He was trying to teach him something. He really was. It was just funny. He was funny. He did it on a funny way, but he was trying to teach him something. And at the end, he did learn something. But a lesson to learn: talk to your kids. Talk to your kids about stuff. Because some children think they already know, but they really don't know for real. But they think they know. I can remember when my mom, she talked to me, but I remember going to get my birth control pill. My mama didn't take me to get my birth control pill. I followed some friends to the clinic. My mama found out when I got on the birth control pill. She said she wanted to take me, but no, I want to be so fast and I want to be like the other girls. I went down there and got on birth control myself. Following some friend. The first question that the people at the clinic ask you, are you sexually active? And I'm like, But they said, why are you getting pills? Because they said once you start putting them on pills, it make them feel like they can go out and do what they want. But it don't mean that. Hey, Lauren Pryor, how you doing? Child, I'm over here talking about this movie here, child. Woo. I tell you, that Joe, you got to have some strong religion. That Joe was saying so many cuss words in his movie. Now, Tyler Perry said he said them about 1,000 times. I believe it. But I was just talking about, how the movie went about, even though it was funny, it was ratchet. The language was, bad, but he let people know up front that what this movie was going to be about. But besides all the ratchetness and the cursing, they was trying to teach the young boy about his history. It is good to know your history, even though he was just lost. I guess he didn't believe in Googling like everybody else. Cause if he had been Googling, he would have known when Martin Luther King died. He would have known the name of the motel that Martin Luther King got killed at. So it was a lesson for him to learn, even though it was a lot of ratchetness around it. But that was Tyler Perry. He put it in a way it had to be funny. And Lord Jesus, we can't forget about that bar fight. I know good well Tyler Perry was not doing all that. They used some body doubles, didn't they, McKee? Did you see the bar fight? But child, what took the cake? This what took the cake for me when he pulled out that chair. Lord have mercy. Tyler Perry pulled out the chair, y'all. He pulled out that chair. And when he pulled out that chair, right? It was about that Montgomery, what happened over there in Montgomery, right? Tyler Perry pulled out the chair, Jesus. He pulled out them chair, that folding chair. He pulled out some chairs. Y'all put some chairs in the chat. The famous chairs. Y'all remember them chairs, right? Y'all remember the behind that, what happened over there in Montgomery, right? When that the little boy that swam across the water and they jumped on that man and they had a chair start fighting. That went on for a while, but people started making memes and sharing stories about the chairs. So Tyler Perry gonna add that in there. And honey, now them folks in that boy must didn't know about that story what happened down there in Montgomery. When I said, where in the world he kept that chair? I said, Tyler Perry, that was just so smart of him, the way he did it. I'm like, where that chair was? Where he pulled that chair from? Out of his pants? Lord Jesus, this movie was off the chain. It was off the chain, y'all. It was. Now, Joe up there acting like he was a Karate Kid. He up there doing that little Karate Kid position. You know how the Karate Kid had pulled his arms up? He ended up doing that Joe beat all them men up, y'all. The little boy, Lord Jesus. The little boy had to put a helmet on his head. Joe didn't have no help. But, Lord, I don't even think the little boy even got a lick in, y'all. I don't even think he even got a lick in. That boy wasn't trying to learn. He wasn't trying to fight. I don't know what he was doing. Crawling around on the floor trying to get out of there. But Joe let the folk down. I know. I think they was in what, Mississippi? And you know, I'm not saying Mississippi like this now, but you know, Mississippi was, you live. Okay, E, thank you for coming in. So did you enjoy the movie? Because you said you watched the movie. You say you watched the movie the other day. Did you enjoy it? And you know how Mississippi was back in the day. There was a real, you know, prejudice and racist. And this little boy gonna go right up in that. This little boy gonna go right up in that bar. He ain't see no black people in there. When nobody. Now you know good time well you were up here in Mississippi trying to use the bathroom. They looking at you like you crazy. It's the child, he learned a lot. He learned a lot. That child learned a lot on that road trip. He know places that you should enter, don't go there. But I'm not saying Mississippi is still like that, but you know, in the history books, how Mississippi was, you know, the Mississippi burning. And I know I seen a movie. It was a good movie about the Mississippi burning, when that man, they had got that man for, they thought he had raped somebody and stuff. But Tyler Perry pulled out that chair, y'all. Okay, Grandma Lynn, thank you for coming in. And if y'all haven't seen the movie, it's funny, it's ratchet, it is rated R. I don't suggest anybody under 18 should watch it. This is not for children. It is not for children because of the language, because of the nudity, and because of the you know different things in the movie that children shouldn't be allowed to see. No matter what they say they want to see it, I wouldn't suggest them seeing it. But yeah, they went to the motel where Martin Luther King was killed, and he wanted his grandson to see that and learn that, but he didn't pick up on it. He didn't really pick up on it until later on, because they went to a H house where women, they were showing all kind of ratchet scenes and nudity, and then him and the girl end up in the room. She was a H. I'm not gonna call her, but she was one of the girls. She was one of the call girls there, and she was there in the room with him, and he didn't know. He was in there just touching stuff. And the lady was saying, you don't need, you know, it was just the way how they had it set up, like someone had been in that room, someone had been using that towel, you know what I'm saying, cleaning herself up or whatever. And she was telling him, you don't put your head on that, because he didn't know. He did not know. He didn't know nothing about, in other words, he didn't know nothing about sex. He didn't know nothing about sex. He didn't know nothing about some of his Black history. I mean, he was only going by what he thought he knew, but some of the things that he should have known, he didn't know. And so Joe was showing him little by little on the trip, even though they had to go through all these different little areas, but he was trying to show him and let him know how, as a man, how he should be treated. You know, he was letting him know that how things should be. And if you don't be a certain way, people gonna continue to treat you in a way where, cause you know, back in the 1850s and when it was slavery and stuff like that, they thought, you know, it was a lot of people. Hey, pre-retirement, I'm just doing a review on this movie. back then, it was black on one side, white on one side. And, he was trying to, just try to teach his grandson his history. But he was able to pick up on it because he went to a library. He was able to go to the library. He was able to, and he was like amazed about all the pictures he took on the trip. It was some history behind it. So he was able to see all of that at the library. That's why I said it's good to know your history, because you'll be lost if you don't. Because we got to know what our ancestors was marching and fighting for. They was paving the way for us to have some of the things that we do have today. Rosa Parks, she was on that bus. She refused to get up her seat. It was history. She made history. And a lot of people thought she should have just gave up her seat, but she stood her ground. She stood her ground on that bus. She really did. So that was giving other people, she was paving the way for the others to be on the buses. Even though some of the people that was on the bus, they still got off. A lot of people got off the bus anyway. So I'm just bringing up just some of our history. It's just good to know your Black history. But the young man, I guess, I'm assuming him and the girl did get together. You watching it, girl. Don't let them kids watch it now. Don't let Jordan now watch it. No, they don't need to watch it. And I hope Booth ain't watching it. It's too much for them kids. Too much. But overall, I would say it was a pretty good movie. Besides like the cursing and the nude and things like that. But this is the way he wanted to go. He showed him some history. And then it was a lot of H houses back in there. And people was pimping. I don't know if people still are pimps now. They might still have some pimps out here. You see, Joe knew about being a pimp now. Joe was a pimp. He tell you in a minute. He had them H's. So I don't want to watch it then because I'm on a diet from negative content. Thanks for letting me know. Yes, it's ratchet. It is ratchet. Oh, you is? How long you been on that, girl? I got to catch up on you. Yep. It's funny, but it just the language. But he let people know up front, this is how he wrote it. And, I laughed. And it was, to me, it's not for it's not for children. It's not. So, but, if you want to get a good laugh and just want to have something to watch, I would say it's kind of worth watching. But it's just only up to you to how you proceed it, No, he got some good views, and then he got some okay views. They said right here, they said Joe College Road Trip by Tyler Perry is very educational for Black History Month. Pay attention to the storyline. A lot of people just looking at because of the language and the things like that, but they really missing the picture of it. They went on a road trip, true enough, but every stop was historic. Every place that he stopped with his grandson was historic. I don't know how the H-Child fit in there, but as you watch it, I guess you could understand why he did stop there. Because there was a lot of those places back in the day where they had pimps and where people was trying to own women and wouldn't let them go nowhere unless they make a couple dollars for them. But I got it like he was trying to let him know this is not how you're supposed to treat women. This is not the way you're supposed to be. You don't. And it was also for the women. You don't have to sell your body. You don't have to do that to make a living. You know, it was a lot of things in there you could pick back off of, and you can see what are some of the true meanings were meant for. Um, but I think the little boy, lost his virginity on the trip. He didn't know nothing, Jesus, Lord bless his soul. He didn't know nothing. The girl, you know. Now you know there was a joke, right? I know this wasn't real. Somebody they got together 19 times. Really? So a lot of people was impressed by it. You know, they just saying they hated that. I was reading right here that they hated they had the little boy character showing like he just didn't know nothing. Cause that's just what it seemed like. He was just blind. He was just blind to what's going on right here in the world. You know, that motel he went to, I think that was very powerful. That was to me, that was one of the powerful moments of the movie, especially when he opened that closet and saw those suits and clothes. You know, I just thought maybe, I'm like the little boy, is they in somebody else's room? Who room they in? You know, I didn't think, because I don't even know if they showed the name of the motel before they went in or not, but the Lorraine Motel is where Dr. Martin Luther King got assassinated at. So he had been staying there. They were saying right here, they hate how BJ character took a literal 180 and completely changed Colin. Yeah, at the end now he got some balls in him. He got some guts, right? I guess after he got with the girl and you know, but he started calling her the B word then. I'm like, okay, BJ. Now you just acting like you was so didn't know nothing now. So now after he got him a little bit and you know, he wanna drive and call the girl the B word. And I'm thinking it's gonna be another part to it. I think it's gonna be another part. That's what I'm thinking. I think that Tyler Perry gonna do another part with Joe, Madea, and all them gonna be, you know, they gonna all gonna connect. I think they're gonna be another part, but a lot of people liked the movie. Some like it wasn't like he could have did better, but overall, I think, and then it's #1 on Netflix right now. Yep. So I think it's worth watching, but not with your children. So once he was able to figure out all this was on those pictures, what was the meaning behind all those pictures, he realized that it was part of his history. It was part of his history. He wanted to go see Graceland. He wanted to go see Elvis. I like the Elvis though, but it's Black History Month. Come on now. So yeah, so that's what I'm taking away from the movie, that he wanted his son to know his history. And by them going cross country, he took them to different places where it was a message from every place he went. Cause when he went in that bar, he was like, you know, because he didn't know that you can't just go up in that kind of area, that kind of place. A black boy, black young man in a area like that, you know. But he found out now. He found out at the end that everything that his granddad was trying to teach him, it was for his own good. Even though Joe did it in his own way now. That Joe was popping them 40 ounces. He was going to sleep, talking his trash. So there's somebody said that, like I said, he gonna have some good views. He gonna have some bad views. Somebody said that Tyler Perry releases Joe College road trip poster with the Lorraine motel on it. So they saying they don't like for him to have that. I don't know if y'all see the poster up here. Got the Lorraine Motel on there. They said that was being disrespectful to Dr. Martin Luther King by posting that. I'm just reading some of the ratings and stuff. Okay, a lot of people didn't like that part. Okay. But overall, that's just like anything. You stand for the first time or you trying something out for the first time, you're going to have some good views, you're going to have some bad views. But as a person, you have the choice to whether you want to watch it. Like Six Bowles said, she's trying to stay away from a lot of the negative stuff and that kind of stuff. So, ain't nothing wrong with it. You have your choice to watch what you want and stuff like that. It's a lot of good views and a lot of bad views. And like I said, what he done in his personal life, it don't have nothing to do with me. Like I said, people are still watching it. I'm just reading some more stuff about it. I'm trying to see when they went by that river, what was that? Because I didn't hear that part. I know they went by a river. Trying to see what did they say that place was. I don't know if I know Frank said he seen him in Key. What was that was when they went by the river, y'all? I don't know if y'all still in the chat or not. I'm trying to. I know the hotel was by Martin Luther King. Okay, let me see. Do y'all remember going on road trips? I used to like to go. I know when my dad used to stay in Florida. Me and my brothers all used to go out there in the back of his truck. He used to have a truck and like a camper over it. And that was some fun time riding back there with my brothers, and we would have stuff to snack on. Sometimes we would sing, we would mess with each other. Like when I go on their trips with my family, I enjoy my road trips with them. We get a chance to, bond together, talk, laugh, and stuff like that. And then when we go visit like historic place, I'll be like, we went and visited the museum in Montgomery. I wanted my grandkids to pay real attention to those museums because, it was just showing a lot of history behind some of those things. So I'm trying to see. Because I know they showed like a picture of a river, but I didn't remember what they said happened at that river. I don't know if they said someone got killed there or so. I'm trying to look it up. I'm still here. Hold on, I'm answering the phone right quick. But overall, I think the trip was. I mean, not a trip.
Hello?
Yeah.
Send that for me to drink.
But overall, I think it was a pretty good movie. And it's just all how you take the movie. You know what I'm saying? I don't suggest it be shown with kids. I think anybody under 18 shouldn't watch it because of you know, because of what they're saying about the movie, the language and the nudity and different things. But I laughed most of it because that show just tickled me. Now, I'm just being honest, Joe couldn't take my children nowhere. Not Joe. No, 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 no. He couldn't take my kids nowhere. Not that Uncle Joe. Not that Grandpa Joe. No. But if you haven't watched the movie, check it out. Like I said, it's ratchet. It is ratchet. Just reading some right quick. So he got five out of 10, 5 out of 10 rating, but it's still being shown. It's number one right now at Netflix. So it's gonna probably go up some more. So they saying Tyler Perry's Joe College tops Netflix. So they top on one of them. The movie came out on Friday, right? So yeah, let me see something right quick. This is Tyler Perry has done it again. His latest Netflix release, Tyler Perry Joe College Road Trip, claimed the number one spot on the streaming platform within days of his February 13th debut, outpacing both major studio releases and nostalgic favorites in the United States. Wow. The rated R comedy surged past the live action. So they said they did pretty good, y'all. I see they want to play it at the movies. I see that. Okay, let me see. I'm just reading something. So this marked his 14th installment in Paris Model Cinematic Universe. But with a significant twist, Model brother Joe takes center stage. Otherwise, I believe gonna be another part to it. I think Joe gonna be he gonna be doing some stuff with Joe now. Yeah, but at the end, I think the grandson was glad that he was able to. At first, he didn't want to go. It was just funny. Joe kept telling the boy, "Get out of my way, get out of my way." He was just treating him so bad. Lord have mercy. He was treating him so bad, telling me, "Get out of my way, get out of my way." He was like he want food with his own grandson, and that little boy to me seemed like the little boy was about scared of him, and he was telling his dad, "Grandpa can't stand me. Grandpa don't like me. He always be telling me, get out the way, get out the way." But he loved him. He just that, they're just the way, like I said, sometimes children are brought up in that way. In some children, if they brought up that way, they don't ask questions. But it's good. If you want to know something, ask somebody something, especially ask your parents about things that you need to know and things that is meaningful to you. So they said he been doing pretty good with so they said Perry Netflix catalog has expanded rapidly in recent months. Tyler Perry finding joy. Did I see that? I had started watching it, but I didn't watch all of it. Finding joy in 2025. Now, Beauty and the Blight, that's one of my favorite shows. Divorced Sisters. I never watched that. My Dear Destination Wedding. That was pretty good. And Straw, that was good. So all those movies was played on Netflix. Okay. So he partnered with Netflix. And I think he partnered with BET too. You know, like I said, he gonna have some good critics. Some people gonna agree with the movie, some gonna say how they feel. So overall, the movie still was pretty good. Hey, First Lady, how you doing? I was just talking about the Tyler Perry movie. Have you seen it yet? Good to see you. I rewatched Beauty and the Black this weekend. They got a new series coming up. Happy Sunday, happy spiritual Sunday. How's your day? How's your day been going? I was just sharing my review on the movie. It was funny, but it was like I said, it ain't for a younger audience. It's not for a younger audience because of the language and some of the actions with the nude and stuff. But there, like I said, however it went, it still was a message for. It was to do with Black history. They talked about Martin Luther King. They talked about different historic places they went to on that trip. I've been doing okay. I'm hanging in there. Still get rough on me sometimes, but I'm just right now trying to maintain. I'll be starting my new journey tomorrow on my cardio fitness, trying to make sure work on my heart health. So I got a lot of things to try to keep me busy. I won't be so, stressed out and worried. But my mom will always be on my mind. She been gone almost 2 months. And I got sad the other day because when I got the kids, their candy and stuff, right? I always was making my mom a bag too. I would always have her a Valentine bag, and I was like, wow. So I was able to get her some flowers. I supposed to been talking about that today, but it was raining so bad. So we're gonna go out to the graveyard and place the flowers on there. But yeah, I was just sharing about my take on the movie, and I also was sharing about some things I got to focus on the rest of this year. Yeah, yeah, it's basically still my health, but since they told me about my heart, just try to work on things to make sure my heart stays healthy, and so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Hey, Sassa, how you doing? We're starting the 3 shorts a day challenge tomorrow. You can do whatever shorts you want to do. You can do whatever you want of those shorts. And I also be starting my new journey tomorrow, personal journey, doing cardio exercise because they told me I had a enlarged heart. But my doctor told me, he was telling me, don't panic. Just try to work on making sure your heart stay healthy. So my main focus over here always have been my health, whether it's dealing with my joints or anything. So I'll be doing some of those. I'll be sharing some of my food like I always do. So he did a cardiovascular plan for me. I got to do some exercise for cardio. I got to do take vitamins for heart health. And I also got to change my eating habit. I got to do the Meridian diet, low carb carbs. So this is what I'll be pushing for the rest of this year, focusing on my heart health, my joint health, trying to stay focused mentally, continue to do what I have to do to stay healthy, which is it's challenging. It's challenging. Yeah. Oh, well, I pray your mom as well. How your mama doing? Oh, you got 2 short for tomorrow? I know I saw you where you was going to visit your mom one day. I pray your mom is doing well. Yeah. But yeah, this month is heart health. And I told y'all I had went and took they got yeah, they took an ultrasound on my heart. So it's my left side of my heart that's a little enlarged. And he said he don't want it to, okay. My doctor said he don't want my heart to get too large where I have to end up with heart failure. So I'm just gonna continue to try to make sure I keep my heart healthy. Doing the things I gotta do, eliminate things that I don't need and shouldn't have. You know, I can do it. I have done it before, but it's my first time going through this about my heart. I know I've been having chest pains and stuff like that. And he was just telling me about how things are on my left side. So I'm just trying to stay focused. I'm going to continue to keep the faith. So y'all see me doing some little stuff. I'm gonna record some. I'm not an expert. I'm not in competition. Only thing I'm doing to do is try to focus on me, trying to keep myself on track. And I will try to do some steps out there when it warm up some more. And my doctor told me just do things in moderation. Do things in moderation. And shout out to Sassy for doing her thing over there. She's on her personal health journey. She's working on things that she got to do to make sure she stay where she needs to be. Yeah, I will. I will. So yeah. I told my husband I don't want to end up with heart failure. So yeah. So I don't want my heart to get bigger. I don't want it to. So I just do what I gotta do. And that's what he gave me a plan to go by. So I'm gonna be going by that plan. And I just gotta do it. But yeah, I was talking about the Tyler Perry movie. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. My husband keep calling. Hold on. If y'all haven't watched it, yeah, Ernie.
What you doing?
I'm on my live.
You live?
Yeah.
Oh, is there something to drink, eat?
I told you wasn't nothing out to drink. I told you that.
What you drinking?
I'm drinking some lemon water, Ernie.
All right.
What?
Do you feel?
But I don't know if y'all seen the movie, but it's pretty good. Y'all hear me now? I don't know if y'all seen the movie about Tyler Perry playing on Netflix. It came out on Friday, and it's about Joe on a college road trip with his grandson. And honey, he said so many cuss words in that movie. That was everybody saying. It was a lot of cursing. But Tyler Perry let the people be known before they start watching. He was warning people that it was gonna be ratchet. And so, but it was funny. And then they also had some moments in there. Okay, then thank you. Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I was on the phone. Have y'all seen the movie? First Lady? It's on Netflix. Sassy. I was just reading some of the ratings of the movie. Some people, he got some good critics about it, and then he got some bad critics. Yeah, it's not for children. No. My granddaughter, she better not be watching it. No. But they was trying to, even though he did it in the way he did it, but there still was a message there. He was trying to teach his grandson about his history. They went to the place where Martin Luther King was assassinated. They went by a river, but I forgot what that river was, what that stood for. But everything they went, every place they went to, it was a history behind it. It was history behind it. He was trying to teach you about his history. And it's good to know your history. It's good to know your Black history. I would love to, I don't know if they have like a museum, but I would love to go visit that place where Martin Luther King, I would just love to just go there and see that place. I don't know, it might be a museum now, I'm not sure, because on the movie, they still got his clothes hanging up in the room. It trying to make it seem, Tyler Perry got it seem like they was in the same room where Martin Luther King was sleeping in, because they had his clothes hanging up in the closet. I actually started watching Joe Road Trip, and it was watching me. I will continue to watch it tonight at the bar. Okay. I mean, you'll get a good laugh, and you'll be like, oh my God, Joe ain't playing. Joe had his beer. He was acting like he was a pimp. He thought he was the Karate Kid. Joe pulled out that chair. He beat them men with that folding chair, because they was, reenacting about the Montgomery brawl thing, right? That's what they was really doing. And he pulled that chair out. I said, Tyler Perry not doing all this. He had to have a body double. That is grown adult movie that we can handle. Yeah, because they was showing some rated R stuff in there. Because they went to an H house. You know what happened at one of those houses. But what I've been going through lately, I needed a good laugh. And I laughed. I really did. I did laugh. It was pretty good. But Joe ain't no joke. Y'all know y'all done had some uncles like that. Y'all done had uncles like that. Those pimp daddy uncles, where they hats to the side, having a full breast suit, them Stacey Adams shoes, and have that cigar sticking in their mouth, either a cigar or a cigarette. Cool jokers. That be them cool uncle when you see them dapping down the street and think they can get all the women's out there. Yep, 25 and older. But since the boy was 18. But y'all know them uncles like that. You used to have them hats on their head with that little feather on the side. Can't tell them nothing. These are these sharp as cane, boy. And can pick up women just like that. Cause Joe went in that play, and he said, I want that one, that one, that one. Joe had him about 5 women, y'all. Joe wasn't playing. Yeah. Joe had about 5 of them, y'all. And the little boy was Sassy, you start doing your shorts today? I see you start doing your shorts today, huh? I'm gonna do them tomorrow. The little boy didn't know where he was. He didn't know why his granddaddy took him there. But if you think about it, like I said, I don't know what people doing now, but do they still have these places? I'm just gonna say it. Do they still have whole houses out here? Do they still have pimps and stuff? In this century now, do they still have pimps? Do anybody know? I don't know. I know they got people that do like escorts and stuff like that. They probably call them escorts now, and they probably calling them like other kind of workers. But back then they had pimps, and then they'll tell you right quick, she belong to me. I'm coming to get her. Like they was trying to get that girl. That girl had to know. That girl had to turn that boy out. I think that was his first time too. Then at the end, he started calling what they stingy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Y'all know them uncles. And look, have all them rings on their finger. Look, y'all remember Jerome on Martin? Y'all remember Jerome, right? Jerome in the house. Jerome was a pimp over there. But yeah, I needed a good laugh, and that was a good laugh. It was a good laugh. And yeah, but that little boy found out he got his what they said in the other movie. He got his he had to go get his oats sold. He learned a lot that on that trip. He learned it was historic and everything. He learned more about Black history too. You know, he didn't understand why his granddaddy would take him to these places and why his granddaddy would take pictures every place they went, because it was a historic place. And he wanted to show him, you know. And he also was telling him about don't let, you know, in other words, he was trying to tell him to be a man. Be a man. And if you come off as soft, people gonna assume that you are soft and they're gonna treat you in that way. You know, it was a lot in there that he was trying to teach him. It was a lot in there. So that was my take on the movie. Like I said, it was rated R. It was X-rated. If you ask me, it was X-rated. Yep. So I just want to share it with y'all. I said I'm gonna watch it again. I think I miss a part or two. Because I still can't. Frank, do you remember? Because I'm trying to think about that river they went to. Wait, what they said, was that the Mississippi River? I think that was the Mississippi River where they went to. I think they said somebody had got drowned there or killed there. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that part because I can't remember what river that was. I think it was the Mississippi River, and he took a picture of it, and he was trying to tell him, but he found out all the information on his computer. Okay. Because I was trying to remember what was that he was showing him. He showed him a river. They was at that motel. Then he showed him another place. But that movie was a trip, I'm telling you. But, you know, like I said, we was talking about the birds and the bees. The little boy didn't know too much about sex. He didn't know. And then, the girl, I guess she took his virginity. And then Tyler, when they Joe said, "You got you some, D." Yeah, you got some, D. He started, hey y'all. He started acting different when he got with the gun. I guess that way he. I guess that's all what it took, a little that to get him on track, huh? What you think, Frank? After he got with the gun, couldn't tell him nothing then, y'all. Couldn't tell him nothing because he felt like he was the man. Then that girl had them turned him out. She done been with all types of men and everything. He didn't care. He got a little bit of it and it went to the head. He started calling her the B word. He was talking about that was his B. She talking about I'm his B now. I'm like, Lord Jesus. Before then, he didn't even know what that was. He didn't even know what the woman position was. He didn't know what she was doing at that place. Oh, Jesus. But overall, it was a pretty good movie. Yep, it was. Frank, what's some of the part that you liked about the movie? Because I know you've seen it. If y'all seen the movie, what are some of the parts that you like? Like I said, I really did like how he did the Martin Luther King part. I really did like that. And I know a lot of critics are saying something about that he got that motel name on the cover of his movie. I don't know, is his family gonna have something to say about it? Because when people are be like that dead and everything, sometimes the family would say something. I don't think that it wasn't nothing bad on his part of him talking about Martin Luther King. I didn't see nothing. Called, he was trying to teach the boy. He was trying to let him know this place where we at is historic. He didn't tell him, but the boy had to figure it out. Yep. So I like movies like this where you can laugh and it can be serious and you can still walk away with something. Yeah. He didn't tell him about where he was, all the places, but he wanted him to man up and be able to do some of the things, figure it out on his own. Because that's why I said Joe wasn't there for his dad. He wasn't there for his dad. He probably was out pimping, doing all them things. Cause for how he was talking, like he had been around the block in them places. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew the woman whatever there. He knew the madam of the house. He knew her. And he already knew how the Mississippi part was, because you have heard about places in Mississippi. You heard about what had happened back in the slavery days and things about how they was treating black people. He wanted him to see after that little brawl in that bar. He just about figured out something ain't right here. I'm the only black person. We the only two black people here. They should have told him a lot right there. But he still, because of the fact he didn't know. And so that was the purpose of the road trip, to teach him, let him sow his oats. Like the man said on Coming to America, he had to go sow his oats. He had to learn things about life. Whether, like everything, don't be peachy. Everything is not peachy. You can't take nothing for granted. I'm thankful. I don't know about y'all. I'm glad we ain't got to live the way how some of our ancestors have lived. We know that they have been in situations where they couldn't go in the same restaurants, use the same bathrooms. They have been where they couldn't drink at the same water fountains. That is part of our history and showing how far we have came. We have came a long way, but there's still some ways to go. For us, the segregation, black, white, they go wherever they want to go. But there's still some places out there that are prejudiced. There are some places out there that still look at us like we don't know anything, but we have some smart people. We had a black president. We had a black lady president, even though they wasn't all the way black, but I'm not saying people of color. They opened doors for other people to do those things, So it's a lot that, like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, a lot of those open doors for us. But you got to know the history behind them. So I'm going to continue to share some more things about Black history the rest of this month. I'm going to probably do some more Black history later on this week. But Tyler Perry put it where his movie came out this month, and he showed some areas and different things concerning Black history. Even though it was a comedy, but it was still a meaningful picture. Yep. So let's look this. I think I'm gonna watch that movie, Find It with Joy. But I watched what was that movie I said I seen? So I'm gonna be doing movie reviews too. I seen that movie Forever That was a pretty good movie. I think I'm gonna do a review on that. It was pretty. That movie had me crying. Ooh, that movie had me straight crying. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a review on that one. So right now, I got enough stuff to work on that can keep me from being depressed and sad. Um, and I had to do something to keep myself busy because I think about my mom daily. It could be anything to remind me of her. It could be something she done ate or something she done wore. Or just thinking about the last time I took a picture. I got her last picture. I got that on my phone. But I'm trying to continue to stay strong. I'm in this little support group that I read daily mails. They send me stuff to read, and you know, that's a lot of stuff that keeping me going. Because I'm staying busy. Once I sit down and get quiet, I, I cry, think about my mom. But I have came a long way with it. But so right now I will be focusing on things that I need to be focused on, and that is my health. Anything else, I'm like six bowls. I try to stay away from drama. I don't worry about what the next person got going on or whatever. When it comes down to my health and my family and things concerning me, I try to stay focused on that. But like I said, I had several trolls coming in here trying to start with me about stuff. But you know what? I think they be when the trolls come in your chat. I think they just bored, don't have nothing else to do, and they just want to get a response from you. But what I came here and said, I was a food stamp front runner. Woo, child. If it were possible that I could get some food stamp, you think I'd turn them down? No way. I'd take them and spend them. I just can't get none. Anybody that gets some, God bless your soul. Because the way food prices is now, you need something else. You need food stamps or some vouchers, coupons. You need them all. You need to live them all now. But I remember when my mom would get no food stamp. Shoot, those when back in the day when they had the little booklets, right? A lot of children be ashamed to even speak on food stamp. Why be ashamed of? Shoot, they help bought grocery. Yep. So I wish I was a front runner. Yep. Now I have gotten some, but I don't get none now. I have gotten some now. I won't sit here and say I haven't gotten none. I have, but they won't give me no more. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna probably do I probably do a review on that movie Forever. It's on Netflix too. Netflix seems to have some pretty good movies. Some of them just, not much show that came back. I don't know. A lot of y'all have seen, or a lot of y'all like the show Bridgerton. I like watching Bridgerton, like the old English movies and stuff. Not like that. I had started watch. I watched the season 4. Now waiting on the other part. I don't know why, but I like stuff like that. I like to watch the stuff about novels, and I like stuff like that. But I do want to thank everybody that did come through. I see E God had came through. He said he's live. Uh, he had came in the chat. Y'all can check him out. I want to shout out to my members. Thank y'all for coming through, and thank y'all for continuing your membership. Like I said, this is a new week. I'm going up against some more challenging things, but I'm gonna be all right because I'm gonna continue to keep the faith, and like I said, I'm gonna do things with moderation. Yep. I probably do some recordings of me doing the cardio, and I might do some live. I like Virgin River on Netflix. Waiting on the next. Okay, Virgin River. Oh, it's a series. Oh, okay. How long it been going on? Cause if I try to watch something that I don't never see the beginning of it, I be lost. But it's just a series. I probably can go back and watch it, can't I used to love tell you a picture I used to love to watch. Orange on Black. I don't know if y'all remember that about when old ladies was in prison. That was a pretty good series. I watched all the way up until I watched it for a long time, but I didn't never see the end part of it. I said I was gonna go back and catch up and watch the end of the series, but I used to love to watch that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, shout out to my members. What y'all have for dinner today? I'm just sticking with veggies and chicken and turkey. That's all I'm eating, and fish and vegetables and smoothies and things like that. Um, no fried food for me. Yep. I'm just going to remember just to stay focused on what I need to stay focused on. Yes, for a couple of years. I think it has 2 seasons. Okay. I have to look it up because I think I heard of it. But like I said, I was just sharing my take on the movie Joe College Road Trip. I'm just gonna be honest. He couldn't take my children nowhere. I wouldn't dare let Joe take my child. No. Joe, Joe is a Joe. Joe didn't play. Yeah. He's a little bit too much for me. Child, my son or my daughter. I would have let that. Oh Lord, no. He couldn't take my grandkids nowhere. At first, when Tyler Perry was asking Joe about doing the trip, he was like, uh-uh. He didn't want to do it. But he realized the young boy he needed to show this. He needed to show his grandson his history. Because only thing that little boy was talking about Elvis Presley. He wanted to go see what Elvis Presley stayed. I mean, I don't know how that gets Elvis Presley. I used to love Elvis Presley. I still like Elvis Presley. I used to like watching his movies. But, Joe was trying to say, that ain't part of your history. Yes, he was a straight fool. He was a straight fool, y'all. But after the man asked him at first about taking his grandson, he was like, I don't want to do it. He didn't like his own grandson. He didn't like what he was. He felt like his grandson should have known more for his age. And a lot of stuff the little boy was saying. I know. I believe gonna be another part, lady, first lady. I believe he gonna do a part too, and my dear gonna be with him. Lord, it ain't gonna do no good to let her go. They throw away the little boy medicine. The little boy take allergy medicine, right? Because it was certain foods he couldn't eat, certain things he couldn't drink. And they throw the little boy stuff away. I said, Lord, good thing the child didn't have no allergic reactions to them. That Joe probably would have had a heart attack if that little boy would have had an attack out there with him. But it was fun. It was a trip. I was just laughing. My husband looking at me like he was about to sleep. But I think I had dozed off on a little. Then I woke back up. I said, I'm going to watch the rest of this movie tonight. I'm going to watch all this movie tonight. So I did watch all of it. Yeah. Look, somebody had said they need to put Joe, what a lady name? Hattie, Mr. Brown, and My dear, let them go on a trip. If all them go on a trip, Joe, my dear, had it, her name had it right, Mr. Brown, and the man play on they said don't forget about him. What the man play on House of Pain? Curtis. He crazy too. Curtis is so foolish. If they put all them men together, they won't get nowhere. But my dear, cause Curtis, he be doing some crazy stuff on House of Pain. He funny too. I think that'll be a combination right there. I think that would be a combination. Yep. But we all had that uncle. I know it. No, Mr. Brown gonna come out with his clothes. He gonna come out with his Lord have mercy. He just like the rainbow. He be looking like the rainbow. Yeah. But I used to watch all the time. I used to love his plays and stuff. You know, I saw some of his old plays. Every now and then, you know, if I want to get something funny or I go back and look at some of his old plays. So a lot of people say he probably should go back to doing that. But he was trying to get away from playing Madea. He was, you know, that's why he branching out, you know, doing other stuff. Yeah. But I remember when I first seen him play, I was like, And he has some history behind. Like I said, you know, a lot of people, like I read where somebody had said, we ain't studying that movie. What about his charges or what about his lawsuit? I don't think he got no charges, but he got some lawsuits. But like I said, I don't know what that man did in his bedroom. And it ain't my business. It ain't my business, you know. I don't try to get over here and try to figure out nobody else's sex life or figure out why they did this or why they didn't do that. You know, like I said, I'm a vlogger. I share entertainment, and that's it. You know, besides when I do my wellness. But, you know, a lot of people were giving critics about that. You know, I don't know, is he got to go to court for it? I think he got like 2 lawsuits against him, but they ain't stop him from putting on movies out. He's still putting on movies out. He's still working. And then he's still helping others, giving them jobs and stuff, you know? So what people do in their bedroom is their business. If they do wrong, they break the law, yes, they should be held accountable for that, you know? But other than that, I'm not here to judge no one. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this on up in a couple of more minutes. And like I said, I'm gonna do some more cardio. I got like 2 or 3 I'm gonna be doing. You know, cardio will be helping my heart flow. It will help my heart flow. So gotta make sure my heart is flowing good and my blood pressure staying normal. And yeah. You know, like I said, you know, my doctor did the printout. He did everything for me to go by. So that's what I would do. I will have to distract whatever that I think that's distracting me. If I feel like something is distracting me, I have to let it go. Whether people, places, or things. If you're working on something that you know benefiting you, and some people are going to be happy for you. Some people are going to be trying to tear you down. But you got to do what's best for you. You know, they're going to be the naysayers. They're going to be the negativity. They're going to be people going to feel and they're going to say what they want to say. But I can't let them bother me. I can't let them bother me. I just have to just remain on point, remain on target, do what I need to do. Because I don't want to be, you know, going around here with heart failure, can't get my blood pressure under control and stuff like that. Right now, my blood pressure have went down. You know, I know the exercises and changing my eating habit, that gonna help it out too. But I know it went up some when I lost my mom. Everything went kind of awkward for me. Blood pressure, anxiety, all that went up. But like my doctor said, that's a lot to handle losing a parent. So right now, I'm just trying to get back focused and do what I need to do for me if I can be around with my grandkids. Because of what I told my grandchildren about, the man was talking about my heart, and they were like, Grandma, what? But he told me not to panic, just stay focused and just make sure my heart stay healthy. Try not to put things pressure on it. Try not to make things get worse for it. I'm 57 years old. You know, as older I get, our body go through these different changes and stuff. So but I gotta do what I gotta do for me to be around as long as I can be around. If I have to, like I said, change different things, that's what I have to do. Because I was stressing. I had been stressing. I really was. But now I can breathe a little bit, breathe in and breathe out. But I'm human. I'm human. And we go through things, and we don't have to let those things define who we are. We stand true to ourselves and do what we need to do for ourselves, you know? So I think E-God is live. I don't know. I was trying to see was anybody live that was in the chat with me. Miss Key might be. I don't know. But I know E-God's live, and Frank, he did a video on there. Frank did a video on the movie also. I know he said he's seen the movie. Yeah. Like I said, some people said good things and some people had, some bad critics about it. But that's just life. Everybody ain't gonna agree with what you do. Some people gonna feel the way they feel about what you do and what you don't do. It's up to you to, like they say, every reaction doesn't require a reaction. Yeah. So I'm about to get on off of here. I hope everybody had a good dinner today. Like I said, I had baked chicken. I had some English peas and some carrots. Just trying to stick with the food with fiber and proteins. Yep. So see tomorrow. Ooh, like I said, we're doing the 3 shorts a day, short videos a day. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. I think Sassy started doing some shorts today. She must have mentioned me. I saw that. I gotta go see it. She mentioned my name, so I'll put out some shorts tomorrow. It'll be 3 shorts a day. That'll help us with our views and different stuff. Yeah. Um, But anyway, I enjoyed everybody for coming through. Don't forget to check out everybody who did come through today. We had E-Gods came in here. I think he live. I was trying to find his live. We had Frank G came in. Had my members, Lion Pride, Miss Key. We had First Lady. We had Kenneth in here. Trying to make sure I don't overlook nobody. A couple of trolls, I don't know who they was. But like I said, hey Tuber Chat, how you doing? I didn't know you was in here. Hey Tuber Chat, you doing okay? I gotta come back over there and visit you. I know it's been a minute since I been over that way. Good to see you, Tuber Chat, and thank you. Yeah, I had been off for a little while. I had lost my mom right before the Christmas, and it had took a toll on me. But now I'm trying to bounce back. You know, I've been trying to do. I've been doing okay lately, but it's still hard. She's been gone almost 2 months, and it's hard. But I try to just keep it going. You do too. You do too. Okay, Frank. Be authentic and find a niche that's sustainable for your channel. Okay, yeah. I try to stick with what I like to do. I like sharing and talking about things that help us the most. You know, God is good all the time. He will heal our wounds. Yes, He will. Yep. But anyway, y'all, I enjoyed everybody for stopping through. Y'all don't forget to check out Tuber Chat. He helps over there. I don't know if he live now. He normally be live on Sundays. He helped you with your channel. You know, you can connect over there because that was one of the places I went to when I was first came on YouTube, and you know, to help you grow and everything. And I appreciate all the ones that have been sticking with me and supporting me all these years. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you do have to find something that, you know, that niche, that's something that works for you. You know, yeah. I think you'll have a good channel if you was to have a channel, First Lady. Yes, flowers for everyone. I'm about to go on and get off of here. See, I already have started doing some of my cardio, and my arms a little sore. I had started doing them the other day. I just didn't record it, but I'll be doing stuff like helping things to help keep my heart flowing. You know, that's the purpose of the cardio, you know, for my heart health. So I'll try not to let nothing weigh me down, like mentally. But like I said, losing a parent is a lot. It's a lot. But I keep continue to ask God to make me stronger every day. I try to stay busy. That's why I start by trying to work on my channel. Cause if I stay busy, I don't cry as much, but those tears still come. Those tears still come. But I know my mom is in heaven, and I know she's watching over me. On that note, thank y'all for stopping by. I appreciate everybody for your support, from the members, the supporters, the moderators, and I pray y'all continue to have a blessed night, a good week. I don't know how y'all weather is, but right now the weather is like it been raining all day today. So I don't know how it's gonna be, but it is winter. But sometimes it feel like it ain't winter. But y'all be safe out there. Wash your hands. You know that COVID is still out there, and y'all, you know, take precautions out there. I heard they say that COVID is out, and it's like one of the worst cases, like they hadn't had COVID out, it been out for a long time, but it seems like now it's starting to get back bad. Because I know some people that got it, and I never had COVID, but I did have the flu. And you don't want to have the flu either, because it's flu season, and I know a lot of people don't like to get the shots or haven't got the shots, but I did get my flu shot. But I guess it don't mean nothing if you do get this shot, because you still probably would catch it, but still you'll be able to get ahead of it, Because soon as after February, March coming up, and y'all know that pollen and all that hay fever stuff start then. Ooh, I dread that type of year with that pollen and the stuff that caused you to sneeze and stuff like that. So like I said, this was a pretty good movie. That's just my take on it. I enjoyed it. It was funny. It had a message with it. It's just how you perceive the movie. You have to judge it on your own opinions about it. But the cursing, I didn't like too much of that. Cause when I be in the car with my grandkids, and I can't stand hear all that ratchet music, but I know that's what they like. And Tyler Perry, he's funny, but he let people know up front, I'm giving y'all a warning. But if you look besides all of that, it's a good movie. So if you're watching it, I hope you enjoy it. I'll probably do another movie review. I saw a movie about Forever. So I have put movie reviews in my lineup. What is she doing now? So I'll be sharing some movie reviews. I'll be sharing on my take on the movie about what message. And, sometimes you can watch a movie and you just don't get a message from it, or it's just not that good. I like watching movies that is meaningful. I like watching those documentaries because, some of those do be true from real life. I'm waiting for the Michael Jackson movie now, y'all. I'm waiting on that movie. I know I'm going to probably be in there crying like a baby. It'll start in April. We're probably going to do that as a family thing. And I got some things coming up that I'm going to be sharing and things I'm going to be doing. If the Lord's will, this channel will continue to run. I'll just try to do the best I can. And if it be times that I can't come on, just know it's for personal reasons. And sometimes you have to take those breaks. So on that note, y'all continue to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? Prayed up. And until next time, bye-bye. Take this out right quick. See y'all in the next go round.